We fight how we train. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Floyd Schofield, a little bit of fight how we train, a little bit of craft, and then we're going to be looking at some things that he can do to improve and some of his fight philosophy that's kind of wrong. And we're going to see if we can figure out, where we can figure it out on his heavy bag work. So, number one, a few things we want to think about. He's fast, right? And it's hard to fight fast people. And that means that he's going to get away with a lot of these flaws a lot more often than he should, right? Because it's hard to make him pay if he's a better athlete than you, right? So, one of the first things I want to talk about here is as he gets on the line here, he's boom, hit the bag, and he's going to do this thing where he's going to stand up, touch his trunks, and chill, right? At first, I didn't actually think it was that big of a deal. You take a random break when you're not in danger or this or that. And, on further investigation, when we take a look at the fight, the clips, you're going to see just exactly how bad it is for his fight philosophy, his flow. And here's the thing. This is the crazy thing. We can see from what he just did here. He's not really adjusting his thing, is he? Okay, I don't really know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know. But it didn't look like he was pushing it down like it looks like when you're watching them in the fights, right? So, anyway, here we go. We've got him jabbing, and I want you to pay attention to the fact that there's no real head movement, right? He can throw his punches, and even though he's doing all those fancy stuff, his head is basically in the same spot the whole time. He's making a "we fight how we train" joke here. Shouldn't show that on camera, should I? That's what he said right here. You just have no idea what you're showing, do you? But we can see that he doesn't really move his head, and one of those things that happens with people who don't move their head, they have this very, would you call it, a bladed stance, where one shoulder is always pointed forward, their feet are kind of in a line, right? He's not so bad. His feet are not so bad. Like Caleb Plant, his foot would be back here, right? He'd be boom, boom, and everything would be in a line here. So his line's not so bad, but his head is always in the same spot. It's always in a very, very similar spot here. And because of this, the likelihood that he has to enter the line with the left shoulder is like 90%. Now watch as he enters the line here. Stepping jab, 1, 2. Now 1, 2, or 1, 1. Now when he wanted to throw this 1, 2 here, did he want to throw the 2 or did he want to throw the 1? Tap, tap, because it looks like the 2 was harder than the 1, right? The first one's just an easy shot. We can see that this is a hard shot to the body, and that's just a very probing shot. So he's intending to throw the 2, but he has to step with the punch as well. Now real quick, I teach a very similar drill. Boom, boom, boom. Very similar. We can look at his structure here that he's not doing it correctly. He doesn't have either one of his heels on the ground, so he's going to be kind of falling off balance, sometimes be forced to pendulum, yada, yada, yada. Now, he does some pretty cool things with all this stuff, but I want to point out again, leaves the line here, touching his trunks. What's he doing, though? What exactly is he doing? What comfort is this giving him? Okay? Anyway, bro, you gotta get that shit gone. Now, here's the first semblance of some defense in his work, right? Notice left shoulder is not up, it's down, Philly shell style here, right? Down, control, boom, spin move. But his bag work, now this is an interesting thing too, a little bit of southpaw. If I had to guess, I'd say this guy's a southpaw, a natural left-handed fighter. Again, the bladedness, the fact that he does all the leaping stuff, boom, the right shoulder right there. See how even when he throws his right hand here, his left shoulder is still more dominant? All these things just make me think that he's left-handed, but I'd probably think Jermell Charlo was left-handed too. So, anyway, always entering the line with the left hand. He's not practicing any defense, any real slipping. We saw like a little bit of it, very, very tiny bit, right? But keeping his head in the same spot, high on the line. And okay, a little fancy head movement there for like one beat, right? All right, let's go ahead and get into the clips now. Let's just go ahead and get that going. Here we go, guys. Million clips today. No, not that many. Yeah, we got quite a few. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about craft here. Now, number one, he's fast. Here's his feinting, right? He's going to crouch, and people call this level changing. I don't like the term level changing because I don't think you should ever be doing this. Notice his head's still in the middle. He didn't choose a side of the line. He didn't make it a slip-like motion. And even though he's going to use this in the next sequence, right, to go here, catch that jab. Oh, they got kind of cut off. But he's going to use that level change to, hey, are you going to counter me when I jab you to the body? And that's kind of what he's checking right there. He just wants to see that. But he's not really, boom, boom. Got kind of cut off again. Don't worry, they won't all be like that. One, and he's going to control the space with that level change-ish thing and throw that right hand to the body there. But getting on the line with the same kind of craft, right? Boom. He's going to throw a jab real quick. And then start throwing right hands to the body. Now, because of that same pattern, that same motion, controlling space, last time he went to the body, his opponent doesn't really know what to expect this time and winds up just allowing him to get on the line with the right hand to the head. And all of that stuff kind of off of that lead shoulder control, right? As we saw when he was on the heavy bag, he wasn't exactly doing the same thing every time he got to the line, but it all started with the left shoulder, right? And as we see here, him intending to land the right hand, jumping on the line, nothing wrong with that. Right hand, beautiful work. So far, the craft kind of going the way that he's picking and starting his sequences. Here we go. Getting on the line again, boom, left shoulder, right hand to the body, because again, he went to the head last time, so now his opponent's got the guard up, he went to the right hand to the head, and now he's throwing a leaping shot to the body as he's flying through the air. Again, craft, right? Before he was just using the jab to the body. Jab to the body, set up the right hand to the body, right hand to the body, set up the right hand to the head, right hand to the head, set up right hand to the body into this leaping shot, right? And he just continues adding to the sequences to make himself, more dangerous, to get more value out of the work he does to get his opponent out of position. Because once his opponent is out of position, as long as he's still in position to punch and let his hands go, he can continue taking advantage of his opponent's lack of position. And the more you flood the line against somebody who's falling behind like that, the more punches you're going to land. Right? Makes sense, right? I don't know why I saved that. All right, here we go. So, again, getting on the line with the 1, the 2, the guy's penduluming, 3, boom, beautiful shot. What I want to point out here is, again, he has to jump on the line, which is a pendulum step, and now he's going to attack the line with the right hand. His opponent's penduluming off the line, so he has to re-pendulum to catch him with this shot. He pendulum stepped twice on this guy in the span of this guy's one pendulum step to catch him with that shot. That's how far ahead he is of Rhodes here. Rhodes literally cannot stop this guy from crossing his line, and it's only round 1. Just going to show just how far behind that guy is. Now, a few things again. Excellent body shot, same craft, same stuff. Jab, jab, right hand to the body. You can't block everything, right? You can block the head, you can block the body, you can choose one. Okay? One. Now, beautiful work here, right? One. His opponent shows him he's in that position. He's got his block for the body there. He's going to be rolling the headshot, but Schofield is not going to throw the right hand. He's going to probe it, feint it, bring that right shoulder forward, control him. By not throwing the punch and using a control tactic when he gets here instead, he's able to make sure he's still on balance to throw that shot before Rhodes leaves. So using the right hand, using the right hand as a setup, but mid-sequence, right? Again, because He always has to enter the line with the left hand first because he's so bladed and dominant with that style, right? Also, the idea of um, um, the fact that he doesn't have any head movement like we saw in the heavy bag. We'll just take a look at that again one more time. There's no head movement, so he doesn't really have an opportunity to open up on the line with the right hand because he can't get his head to that position without starting to step with the left hand, right? All right, moving on. Now, again, getting on the line, one, and then he's going to throw that leaping shot. And look at him blocking the line here. I just wanted to point this out and show how, you know, he does this move a lot, and he's also learned how to protect it a little bit. Even though I don't think everything that he did here was correct, this, and that, he's finding a way to score. I'll say he's hitting and not getting hit. Very important, especially because the fact that he knows that his opponent knows where his head is. Okay, so 1-1. Again, getting on the line, 1-1. He's in position, using the right hand shoulder as a feint. His opponent times that right shoulder, boom, boom, to pendulum to get away from it, and now he leaps into that shot. Again, beautiful, beautiful craft. And we're going to start talking about a few of the failings of this stuff, okay? Now, number one, right at the beginning of this, he's getting on the line here, playing with his trunks. I don't know what's going on. Same move. Getting on the line, gets controlled. Beginning of the second round, his opponent is starting to control him, pushing him off the line. Say, hey, I know where your head's going to be. I know where your head's going to be. Control. Right? Rhodes gives him the level change. Right? Is it going to work? Jabs at him. Counter hook. Was he supposed to throw the two? Was he supposed to throw the double jab? Was that beat going to be good enough for Rhodes to attack him if he attacked the line multiple times? Now, he leaves the line. Is he going to play with his trunks? Okay, plays with his trunks and starts to think, what am I supposed to do here? My head only has one line. Okay, now, again, people who fight in a bladed stance, they don't practice fighting on the left side of the line. If you guys want to learn how to do what Rhodes is doing, control from the right side of the line, get on the line, throw the right hand. You can do it with stepping punches. You can do it with non-stepping punches. You can do it with walking punches. But you want to learn how to do all that stuff with speed and power, with the pendulum-like motion, right? If you notice how he's always in motion and flying, and the 2-foot punching style, so I call it the pendulum style. Check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. But not only that, I'm going to teach you what he doesn't know, which is how to fight on the left side of the line. You're going to learn the movement patterns that are going to help teach you all the best ways to learn how to get into the positions to fight. Okay, all the drills, including one of my favorite drill, the track drill, to teach you where you are in relation to your opponent at all times. And it's a drill. And the cool thing about the Fouts Boxing Combat System, you guys, is most people, they need someone to hold mitts for them, and that's how they get good. You just work mitts, fast hands, this and that. But the Fouts Boxing Combat System is unique in that everything that I teach you how to do on the pads, and there's a pad series in there, and if you get someone to hold pads for you, it's excellent. But all this stuff is stuff you can learn to do on the heavy bag. And it creates a real understanding of what's going on in the ring, what you're supposed to be learning, how to break apart your positions, how to break apart and understand each beat, each sequence of combat, okay? Each piece of the sequence. But not only that, I'm just going to teach you what to do with your body mechanics so you can drive the most amount of power from the ground into your opponent. But I'll teach you what to do with your hands as well. Again, most people have very flawed ideas about what they're supposed to do with their feet. Be on the balls of your feet, right? Be on the balls of your toes. You know, that's not how you fight. You know, you can't step with every punch. And a lot of these misconceptions lead to very, very bad boxing philosophies, as we see with Schofield here, right? Getting a little, okay, I'm going to enter the line on the left side. Okay, my head's still on the line. Coming forward, penduluming forward, coming forward. Head still in the same spot. And finally, in the second round, even though his opponent is half his size and he's smaller and he's not as fast, he's not as strong, he's not as this, Because of all that stuff and the fact that Schofield has to come forward step, step, left, and he has to tell him through the double jab that he's going to be throwing that punch. It doesn't matter that Rhodes is not as fast or as athletic because he knows when he's supposed to punch. He knows when the timing of that shot is supposed to go out, and he's doing his best. He's doing his gosh darn best there. Okay, so here comes Schofield again, getting onto the line, stepping hard, blasting into a leaping shot, and also getting clipped himself. Again, because his head is always in the same spot, he can't really get his head off the line because he doesn't practice any head movement in his heavy bag work. Not just there; it's probably everywhere. I saw a little bit of double in bag work as well. Now, again, we saw that he doesn't really practice any defense. I've talked about how the fact that he guards the line with the left arm, the left hand, right, exclusively. He doesn't really use the rear hand probe. He always has to jump on the line with the left hand in order to throw the right hand, which means that's how he guards the line with the left, and he doesn't know how to block a punch with the left hand. Boom, boom. As we saw Rhodes trying to block punches, getting his guard up, we can see here clearly he's not, and he's getting hit. Okay? He doesn't really know how to do the defensive stuff. Now, here's the thing. By natural cause and effect in the gym, you take a guy who's learning the stuff, you take 100 guys that are learning the stuff that Schofield is learning, and you throw them in, 100 gyms, and they're cycling through, and most of the guys that are learning to fight the way that Schofield fights, they're getting knocked out. They're never making it this far. If you put them all in the same gym, right, they're just going to keep smashing each other and beating each other up, and eventually, right, the one guy who didn't get beat up as much, he's more fresh maybe tomorrow. So he gets a better workout, he gets a better this, and he gets a better that. And, not that that's exactly the way that it goes, but someone's going to come out on top on average more often. And then that guy's going to get better and better and better. And the people who are getting beat up and not getting better, no, sometimes they get better, right? The Kelly Pavlik story, as they get stronger and more in shape and, all that stuff too. Anyway, process of elimination. Some people are going to be good at it. Some people are not going to be good at it. There's going to be a spectrum of people. And one of them is going to wind up being Floyd Schofield, who's fast and strong and can attack the line quickly enough that he doesn't always have to pay for the fact that he always attacks from the same position with the same strategy, with the same this, the same that. And that's going to work at a professional level all the way up until a certain point. He's probably going to touch his trunks right there. So, again, someone with this skill set eventually is going to rise up, right? Rise up. Like they'll just be fast enough to compete with the majority of boxing skills just through athleticism, just straight, right? Wants to throw the right hand, jumps on the line with the left, boom, boom. Coming forward, a little bit of shifting, made it shift, left hand, straight left hand after shifting. Beautiful, love it. Coming forward, boom, got him with another shot. Okay, now this is the part that I have a huge problem with because this guy all the way on the outside, right, all the way from here, boom, boom, couldn't stop him from getting to that position. Is his opponent in a good position to hit him? Nah, not really. So he keeps going forward, keep pressing, boom, boom, give him a little shift, put the pressure, boom, shift, boom, caught him with another shot. He threw a shot, shifted, caught him with a shot, shifted, caught him with a shot. And now he's going to back off to fuck with his trunks. He's in a position right now where this guy cannot stop him from throwing a punch and moving at the same time. And he's not knocking this guy out. And there's a few reasons for that, okay? Number one, I don't want to blame it on his trunks because that's lame. It's lame, okay? It's not the real reason, but there's a problem in there with the idea that he breaks his sequences up to go play with his trunks. The other problem is, and I don't know what's going to happen in the rest of this clip, but what I do know is that Schofield's going to come forward with the left, right? And now again, making it super obvious, right? Okay, he just put on a really, really good set of sequences, then chained them together with shifts to land and score. And then he went right back to his really predictable style of offense, 1-1-2. He landed it ish. His opponent saw it coming a mile away because it's very, very basic timing, right? Boom, boom, timed, right? Schofield made it across the line though, right? Caught him with the shot as he's pulling away. Boom. I did cut it, but he does jerk at his trunks right there, right after. Notice how tall he got standing up. But because of the fact that he fights from the bladed stance, his head's always in the same spot. He always has to attack with the left hand stepping. So because he breaks up his sequences, if he's not shifting, the only way he can get back onto the line with his opponent to start a new sequence, like we saw in the last sequence, is with those stepping jabs. So if he's throwing those stepping jabs, that's a lot of energy. So sometimes I think he's going to be taking breaks to conserve energy and not be step, step, jab, 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 flying through the air, because he can't do that thing. This one, no. This one. So 1, 2. And that's how he gets the momentum to start shifting to get southpaw, right? And now he's orthodox again. And now he's southpaw. And now here's his straight left hand. And this is why I think that he's a natural southpaw, because he's throwing this without stepping. He's shifting, right? And now he's shifted here. He's orthodox, but he's going to throw an uppercut with that momentum that he had going. And now he has to reset. And I don't know if it's to play with his trunks. And I don't know if it's because now he has to start stepping and throwing the leaping left hooks, right? Where he just keeps jumping forward. But getting clobbered here, right on the line at the beginning of the... No, not the beginning of the third round. But jumping on the line, boom. Easy work. Okay? Easy work. Now I talked about... by the way, the full film study, not the full film study, it's rounds 1 through 6. They all get really repetitive after that, but it's a pretty in-depth film study if you guys want to check it out on Patreon. Also, like, we did the Ennis Boots fight, and yeah, tons and tons and tons of Crawford Spence stuff over the last month and a half or so. So a lot of cool stuff. Boom, boom. Now again, he doesn't really block punches, doesn't really move his head, doesn't really A, B, C, D. Always comes forward. And if you look at this, doesn't this look like if this happened, this would be a fight in Japan? Can the smaller fighter beat the bigger monster? Ooh, next time. Right? Look at how much bigger that dude is than this guy. Right? Very bad defense. Look at the big gap right here. Tim Tszyu would say, I saw a gap right there. I saw a gap, so I knocked him out. And now Charlo's running because he got the gap too. Jumps on the line to throw the 2. Again, he doesn't have a way to throw, just a rear hand probe. So he throws it like that. Leaping shot, all that stuff, beautiful. And then break. Break to play with his trunks, right? Having a hard time chaining his sequences together sometimes without the shifting, without the cool stuff. Now, getting controlled here, decent reactions, right? He's fast enough. His head's always in the same spot. He always approaches the line in the same way. Jab, stepping jab for the second beat, and try to throw the right hand after. But he's very predictable. And again, if enough people are fighting with this style, there's going to be enough people for him to fight with this style. And then eventually, right, if that's all that enter the competition, if that's all that this and all that, and they're winning, they're just going to keep getting stronger and faster and stay flawed, right? There's like that old adage, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And one of the things is if you make a huge drastic change to somebody's camp and you don't understand exactly what it was that was giving you your success last time, you don't know what motions you were practicing that were the most effective for your camp. Again, check out the Fouts boxing combat system. It has the most effective movements on repetition over and over and over again. That's the whole reason that it's like that, that it's structured that way. Long, continuous, unending drills for 3 minutes, just like a fight. Forgot what I was saying about Schofield. But yeah, Schofield. Pretty talented guy. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. He doesn't have a lot of structure. He doesn't know how to fight on the left side of the line. Um, and the reason that he's being successful is because he's very athletic. He's strong. He's fast, uh, and that makes him very hard to fight. Right now, there's experience, right, which is what tells you where like all the basic places of your punches go. Right, everyone gets that. Um, if you're not fast, you can't take advantage of your experience, right? So there's a space where Rhodes, he could fight a guy who's not nearly as good as Schofield and look pretty damn good, taking advantage of all the same holes that Schofield's taking advantage of Rhodes because he has the speed advantage. So there's more holes, right? Common sense. So because there's so many more holes on Rhodes, not only because he's smaller, but he's not as fast, he's not as strong, it gives the advantage to the guy who is to just flood the line, right? But we can see the holes. I want to say that Schofield reminds me of like an orthodox Errol Spence, right? Some really interesting stuff. I think Errol Spence is better, obviously, but um, someone said recently there's no ceiling on my skill set. I can't remember who it was, but this kid is the same way. The only thing is his heavy bag work. It needs work. He needs to learn how to move his head. He needs how to learn how to practice how to keep his head going, how to not always enter the line with the left hand, how to throw some rear hand probes, and how to fight on the left side of the line. Sounds like a lot of stuff, but if he learned probably like one single skill to understand it, right, and how it fits in with the combat, he would naturally pick up the rest of the stuff, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Um, to be honest, I'm pretty impressed with this kid. I want to see where he goes. I think that someone like Keyshawn Davis, he might struggle with that because his defense is poor, and he has to rely on being fast and being the one that gets to the line. Um, so Keyshawn Davis could give him some trouble for sure. I don't know if they got sparring previously or not. Apparently, Crawford and Spence sparred. Anybody know anything about that? Anyway, um, yeah. Later, guys.